So, Fueling Spark is about building an energy renewal loop that outlasts intensity. I'm Suzanne Rath, and you're listening to Endures for your daily dose of endurance leadership and life lessons. And today we're on to my seventh of nine catalysts for my performance advancement pathway. And this one is all about energy, vitality, and being able to get this on repeat so that we can climb not just one mountain, but summit after summit. And so the villain of Fueling Spark is the dimming effect, right? When achievement just becomes something that we forget, when celebration disappears, when we skip renewal, and when we're not engaged with what we do. So, this energy renewal loop that I walk people through with Fuel Spark, first of all, we start by looking at engagement. And so, for individuals, that comes back to a lot of what we've already learned, along with some other different tangible solutions that I have to look at how engaged they are with their work, their lives, their leadership, their business, and how to bring that engagement back. For teams, it is also essential. So, this is about looking at, does our work still connect to meaning or challenge or contribution or growth? So we all know Gallup and their engagement surveys and how engagement predicts performance, retention, well-being, and discretionary effort. But for us as individuals, if we're doing meaningful work or meaningful activities, it increases our persistence and our resilience under load. And so my question for you here is, what currently gives you energy before the result arrives? So not when the result arrives. Then we come to achievement. So it's important that we achieve things so that we have proof of capability, right? So progress creates psychological fuel, and that we're all about fueling this spark. So Teresa Amabile has a progress principle where she talks about small wins, and these are one of the biggest drivers of motivation and momentum. So finding with the people who I coach these small wins, setting in place with teams systems and strategies for them to celebrate their small wins is a really important part of this catalyst. So achievement without conscious recognition, and this is not external recognition, this needs to be you and your team finding a way to recognize yourselves. It becomes emotional invisibility. And then the third part of Fuel Spark is celebration. And this is really where we get that emotional encoding. So I talked about the achievement and the micro wins and having those little micro wins, but this is where we move to neurological reinforcement. So when we celebrate, our body says that matters and we did something meaningful. And if we don't celebrate, our success feels numb. The line feels flat. People skip through to the next summit. And, it just becomes the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And our nervous system never closes the stress cycle. So we need to complete our loops emotionally. And so rituals for celebration might be things like gratitude voice notes, team debrief wins, post-race, reflection walks, dinner with your people, or journaling what this season required of you. And then finally, in our energy renewal loop, of course, we have renewal, and this is where we protect the fire. So this is about the spark becoming sustainable. And this is physiological things like sleep and movement and nature. It's emotional things like our relationships, spirituality. It's mental things like having white space in our calendar. And it's really about going back through a number of the things that we've gone through in our other catalysts to make sure that we're on track. So Sonatag's recovery research tells us that psychological detachment and active recovery improve next day focus, creativity, and resilience. So it's so important that we're engaging in this energy renewal loop all the time so that we improve our focus, our creativity, and our resilience. So we close that energy renewal loop, which again is a loop for a reason: engagement, achievement, celebration, and renewal. Because when renewal is protected, we re-enter work, life, leadership, things that are meaningful to us with more engagement, with more presence, and with stronger inner fire. And so our goal is never to prove how resilient we are or how long we can run on empty, but the goal is to become somebody who knows how to relight our own fire on repeat. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for more from Endures. Bye.